What if I told you the Too Tall Sports podcast started 2 years ago, and this is episode 100? Folks, I can't believe that that I'm actually at this point of the podcast, 2 years down the road, 100 episodes. And this is finally the first episode where I'm repeating a guest. It's my buddy Juan from the Max and Juan Cast. A lot of fun with him. He knows his stuff. Great sports talk today. We go all through the NFL draft. He's a huge Raiders fan, so we'll do a little bit of that. Lots of our favorite picks, surprises, any disappointments, teams that got it right, teams that got it wrong. We go through all that. And then we do lots of NBA talk on the back end. Talk about John Morant winning most improved player, why we think that was BS. Is Giannis the best player in the NBA now? We talk about that. And of course, we had to talk about our Lakers and what they should do in the offseason with Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and the rest of the crew. And also, he and his buddy Max on the Max and Juan Cast did a great breakdown about James Harden. So we talk about where he is in his career at this point. Lots of great stuff today. But again, I want to thank everybody who's been here, whether you've been in the beginning or this is your first episode that you've heard from me. I want to thank everybody who's been along for the ride and the journey of the Too Tall Sports podcast. All of my guests that I've had over the last 2 years. It's been great to network with everybody and great to just get everyone's story and deliver to you guys, my listeners, and give you something to think about. That's what I want. The whole goal of this was to shed light on the minor leagues in the beginning. And then I just started networking and realizing, man, I know a lot of people and I am okay reaching out to a lot of people and getting better stories and good sports content, whether it's my 2 cent segment, my opinions, or just maybe you hear one thing that really resonates with you. It's been an incredible ride so far. I love it. I love connecting with people and delivering stories and content to you guys. So I want to thank you for helping me get to 100 episodes. And anyone that's ever given any feedback, I really appreciate it. And those of you, even if you're just the silent listeners that I don't even know about, I appreciate you as well. So you are not forgotten. So once again, I want to thank everybody for getting me to the 2-year mark and 100 episodes. I can't believe it, to be honest. I really can't. So I'm excited that we've hit 100 episodes. It's great. So thank you guys and continued success to everybody. And I hope you're all doing well. And I hope to visit and hear from you at some point. I love any feedback. So as you guys know, I'm always down for feedback. So hit me with it. And the way you can do that is follow me on social media, especially on Instagram and TikTok at Too Tall Sports Podcast, all one word, TOOTALL Sports Podcast, Too Tall Sports Podcast. Twitter, it's at Too Tall Sports. You can check me out there. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go check it out. I post the live recorded video sessions of each interview, so you can watch the conversations on YouTube. So go check those out. Those are on Thursday mornings at about 5 a.m. They're up every Thursday, so go check them out. Also on the audio side, if you haven't done so already, I've been reminding you for 100 episodes, hit the 5 stars. If you haven't done so already on Apple, scroll down on my episodes page. So go to Too Tall Sports Podcast, scroll down, find the 5 stars, hit them. I'd really appreciate that. Leave a review or a comment. It also helps exposure with the show as well. Same thing on Spotify. They're allowing ratings now. So go ahead and hit that 5-star on the Spotify page if you listen there. Otherwise, it's Google Play, Amazon Music, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Too Tall Sports Podcast. Once again, I thank all of you, every single one of you, for listening. I really appreciate it. And I would love to hear from you guys as well, what you likes and dislikes, anything I can do better for you in the future. But 100 freaking episodes. It's crazy. So thanks again for being along for the ride. And enjoy my 100th episode with my guy Juan B from the Max and Juan Cast. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, welcome back to the Too Tall Sports Podcast. This is the first repeat guest of the show that I've ever had, so congrats to him. He is one half of the Max and Juan Cast. You can check out their show on all platforms, and they do a lot of content on social media. That's at Max_Juan Cast. You can follow them on Instagram especially. The NFL draft just ended, and I was there in Vegas live, so I got lots of thoughts of my own, but I wanted to get his thoughts as well. And we're in the middle of the NBA playoffs, so we're going to do some NBA with my guy, Juan B. What's going on, man? Thanks for being back on the show.
What's going on, Brett? Always love to do a pod with you, bro. Always authentic to the bone, but appreciate the opportunity again, bro. Love talking sports with you. But that's insane. I did see you post a picture on IG at the draft. That's amazing, bro. Like, Was there a lot of Raider fans that we represent?
There's a ton of Raider fans, which we will definitely get to. But yeah, I did a podcast there. It's actually on the previous episode, so that was fun. It was kind of near the draft, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, the Raiders were well represented, and it is your favorite team. So Anna was in Vegas, so of course they were a lot there. They didn't have a first round pick, but just overall, your thoughts about even the Raiders offseason getting Davante Adams, but also the draft as well.
Look, I think it's right to start right at the beginning where things changed, and that's hiring Ziegler and McDaniels. Whole new era. The As a Raider fan, I kind of feel special that McDaniels picked us. I was kind of shocked. Like, I heard the McDaniels talk, and I was like, man, he wants to come to the Raiders. Like, okay, like he was terrible in Denver, but all right, like he's been probably one of the most successful offensive coordinators of all time in the NFL.
Right.
So you don't know how much that is of McDaniels or Bill Belichick. Regardless, he seems like he has a plan. He has it mapped out, which the Raiders are nowhere near used to this at all. We're on the fly. Lane Kiffin fires, Dennis Allen hires. Like, this is nowhere near what
usually expecting. It's chaos for you guys.
It's chaos. Absolute chaos. You know, we hire Gruden. Gruden hires Mike Mayock.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know who Mike Mayock is. Like, it's complete chaos, like you said. But McDaniels and Ziegler seem like they just have a plan from the get-go, down from the coaches that they hired off bat, and then the moves that they started making.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cutting guys that were part of the Gruden tree, but kind of, you know, some players that the fan base kind of loved, and they got rid of them. Like, for instance, our fullback, and I know fullback, what are you talking about, Juan? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
He was a fan favorite. Got rid of him, got his own guy in there. Like, just moves, just non-emotional attachment to it. Don't care. I don't care what Gruden did. I'm doing what I want. So mapped out, got rid of guys, free agency starts, winds up signing Chandler Jones to start it off. I'm like, wow, like high level guys just don't get signed by the Raiders like that. Amazing signing. Pays Max Crosby. So we got the edges secured. A couple of days later, hits us with a huge bomb of Davante Adams. And not only did we get the best receiver in the league, we got a guy who's best friends with Carr.
Yeah.
On par with Carr. And second of all, for an absolute steal, like, the draft just passed us. Marquise Brown technically went for more value than Davante Adams.
Right.
AJ Brown went for more value than Davante Adams. It's absolutely insane that we got the best receiver in the league for a first round and a second round. And obviously, yeah, we had to pay him. I get that part. That ties into it. But like, even the payment, it's like, this is not a guy that's predicated off speed. His game's not like that. I think his game is going to obviously transition well into his 30s, his 35s, whatever, how long he plays. And I think he'll be just fine. He's a fantastic route runner. He's one of the best off the line.
Yeah.
Love what the Raiders have been doing. I'm honestly still a little bit shell-shocked, just the way that we operate. And I hope it continues.
Sure. I mean, and all signs point to it being really good situation there. Obviously, you know, the AFC West is going to be very difficult this year. So, you know, with Russell Wilson, and you got the Chargers making moves, and Kansas City, still Kansas City. They might even be the only one to take a step back this offseason. So should be an exciting AFC West for sure. Let's move to, I can't believe the New York teams actually had good drafts. Like, I was shocked by that. In my opinion, the best draft of all the, you know, teams that aren't usually good is the New York Jets. I think they actually got it right this year. They go get Sauce Gardner, who is widely regarded as the best corner in the draft out of Cincinnati. They go get Garrett Wilson, the receiver from Ohio State. And then I think the steal of the first round was Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher from Florida State. In my opinion, they got those all right. And then they got Breece Hall, the running back from Iowa State. What are your thoughts on, do you think the Jets actually got this right?
I think they did. I would have loved it even more if they didn't go Garrett Wilson. Look, Different opinions on Garrett Wilson. I think he's a really good player, but he's going to be a boomer bust type of guy. Drake London wasn't on the board. I wish London was on the board for them because I would have liked Drake London there. But regardless, some people think they got the best guy at all those positions in the draft. Gardner, Wilson, and Breece Hall, arguably number one on a lot of people's boards. And they hit it out of the park because regardless of the fact that what you like about Wilson, they got their guy. That's how they feel.
Right.
And as far as value-wise, like Jermaine Johnson, great value. Breece Hall in the second round. The Jets and the Giants have been the absolute, like, dumpster fire of the NFL for the last, 10 years?
Yeah.
Combined, their records are terrible. And it's a shame that it's both New York teams. Thank God we don't live in New York.
Right.
But, yeah, they knocked that out of the park. I love Sauce. Really love Breece Hall, like all their picks, and even the Giants, if you want to get into them, like they hit it out of the park too. And I like their draft a little bit more. The only difference with the Jets is why people are getting excited is because obviously they think they have the quarterback already. Daniel Jones is like, this is your last chance, buddy. Like,
right. And it remains to be seen with Zach Wilson too, man.
Right.
We don't know yet. It's early with him. But yeah, Jermaine Johnson, I saw, was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and he falls to like 26 or something like that.
Right.
I think they definitely got steals there. Back to the Giants. They get Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon, and then they get Evan Neal, who's the freakiest 337 pounder you've ever seen. You know, when you have multiple first round picks, you got to hit them when you get them. Both those teams, I agree with you.
Yeah. And I think they had a nice blend. I was talking about this with the Eagles, but as a GM in the draft, you got to have that nice blend of, we're going to pick the for sure thing, the guy that has the high floor, but you got to take some swings. You got to be aggressive at times. And I love what the Giants did with Kayvon Thibodeau. I think all that character stuff was blown out of proportion. They got him out of value. That guy might be the best player in this draft when it's all said and done 5 years from now.
Right. No, he totally might be. Speaking of being aggressive, let's talk about another team that people kind of flying under the radar, I think may have had the best draft as well as the Baltimore Ravens. Most experts say, getting the safety, Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame might be the best safety in the draft. And then they get Tyler Linderbaum, which a lot of people think as an O-lineman might be a perennial Pro Bowler. They get him late in the first. They trade Hollywood Brown to Arizona, much to the dismay of Lamar Jackson. But overall, what are your thoughts on what Baltimore did in this draft?
I mean, Baltimore is going to Baltimore. I think that's the best way to put it. It's so funny how teams treat Baltimore in the draft.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone loves to jump them because everyone thinks like, oh, this player's still on the board. Let's jump in front of Baltimore because they might draft them. And it's like, Baltimore's like, that's cool. You guys can jump. We still got other guys on our board that we love. And the fact that they got Kyle Hamilton, amazing. I was kind of lukewarm on the pick at first, not for necessarily Kyle Hamilton, but a little bit for Baltimore. Like, I just hope they play the guy in the right position, which is probably going to happen. They're a smart organization, especially on defense.
Yeah.
But Kyle Hamilton is just one of these guys where, he's a safety, but there's reasons why he dropped that far. And I think a speed is a concern, and him being that kind of deep third zone guy, Earl Thomas type of dude, is concerning. But they have Marcus Williams. So that's what I do like about it. And he's going to be able to cover tight ends, Kyle Hamilton, play a little bit of a linebacker role. But
yeah, he's kind of a tweener, right? He's like 6'4", 220. So is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? That's the hard part with him.
And he was pissed off. If you've seen it on TV, even though like Baltimore's a great place, he was pissed that he dropped that far.
Right.
And it's not that surprising. The more you watch the film, the more that you see him, it's just like, is this guy gonna go top 5 like everyone's saying? He went at where he was supposed to. Safety's not a value position as far as like, oh my God, we need a safety. It's kind of like a stopgap position, but we'll see what happens. He landed in Baltimore, so for all my knowledge, he might become an all-pro. Like, that's
just a good spot to be, especially on defense. But like you said, he kind of had like slow combine numbers. He might be a better in-game player than like combine guy.
And sometimes, Brett, that combine BS is it's all fluff.
It is.
It's like the guy ran a 4.6, but it's like he winds up being a Hall of Famer because his tape speed when he's actually playing football in pads. He's fast.
And real quick, I just off script a little bit, like Nakobe Dean, the linebacker from Georgia. He's only 5'11", so he didn't go in the first round, I think. But that dude is like a ball hawk, man. Like when you watch him, I couldn't believe he was the one that fell. Did you think any thoughts on that?
Well, he fell because of injury concerns.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But Nakobe Dean, he's one of those guys. I remember a bunch of guys came out of Georgia, obviously.
Dude, they had like 15 guys drafted or something.
Yeah, absolutely killed it. And the first time I popped up the film, I'm not a big football guy, so it's a lot of the first times that I'm watching this stuff.
Yeah.
So I throw on Georgia, and I think I'm starting off with the safeties. I'm watching like Lewis Sign. I went 32 to the Vikings.
Yeah.
And my screen, I'm just like, who the hell is this freaking linebacker that keeps on making plays? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Nakobe Dean. Like, I love those players when you're watching the team and you're not supposed to be watching them. Your eyes on someone else.
Right.
And you're like, this guy just keeps on popping out and making play. It's even when you're watching the game in general. It's just like, who the hell is that guy that keeps on making plays? That's Nakobe Dean. And the Eagles, I mean, they knocked that out of them.
Yes, we will. I'll get to Philly in a little bit. We'll save them for a second. So, another team that is probably even worse than the New York teams notoriously outside of maybe the Browns is the Detroit Lions. They actually may have done well in this draft. They get the hometown kid that falls to them, kind of, if you think falls to them at number 2 in Aiden Hutchinson, went to Michigan. And then they get who probably, if he didn't get hurt, Jameson Williams, the receiver from Alabama, would have been the number 1 pick, number 1 wide receiver off the board, coming off ACL surgery, but he's very talented.
Right.
Did the Lions get their picks right, especially early in the draft?
That's going to be tied at the hip forever with the Aiden Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker, potential kind of guy, boomer bust. Aiden Hutchinson, the quote unquote can't miss prospect, the safe pick. And Detroit didn't fold. Max hates me for this because we did our mock draft and I mocked Malik Willis to number 2 because I just thought the Lions are going to get desperate and they're going to go quarterback. Like they're going to do it. There's always a team that winds up messing up and picks the EJ Manuel or picks the Blake Bortles, the guy that they think is the guy. Didn't happen this year, surprisingly. They went Aiden Hutchinson, but their culture, man, is something else. They're as far as whatever you think about Aiden Hutchinson, that he's not really a Bosa brother. He is a Bosa brother, whatever, how you think of him.
Yeah.
When you watch Aiden Hutchinson, he's a guy that cares about football. He has a motor to him. He cares about it. And that's what the Lions are looking for. They're looking for guys who, like Dan Campbell likes to say, bite off some kneecaps.
You're right about the culture, man. It's changing there.
Yeah. Panay Sewell, guys that just love football, and the talent is matching up with it. It's one thing to draft guys who I have experience with the Raiders, who quote unquote love football and have a passion for football, but the talent's not there.
Right.
It's like it doesn't match up. The Lions are getting guys with some talent in the past couple of years, and you got to love what they're doing. They just need a quarterback. Jared Goff is just not going to be that guy, but I love Dan Campbell. I love the direction that they're going. I just wish they had a QB.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. We'll talk some quarterbacks in this draft in a little bit. I want to go to some question marks in the draft. And let's start with Tennessee. The Titans, they trade away their best receiver in A.J. Brown. I know he was going to be a free agent after this next year, and the wide receiver market has exploded. Paying these guys, $20, $30 million a year is a lot for a wide receiver. And they take the rookie wideout from Arkansas, Traylon Burks. I didn't watch him a lot playing at Arkansas. But do you think that, and they actually did take Malik Willis in the 3rd round later, which may have been a nice steal, if you will, there if he develops under Ryan Tannehill. What are your thoughts on what the Titans are doing right now?
I'm kind of shocked, man. This all depends on what you think about Ryan Tannehill. And obviously the Titans don't think much of him because they're rebuilding. Let's just be real. They're rebuilding. They got rid of arguably their second best player on their team, right? A.J. Brown. And, that crown goes to Derrick Henry, but I'm just shocked, man, because I thought Ryan Tannehill had the talent had the capability of winning a Super Bowl for this team. I think they had some bad breaks. Don't let the Chiefs kill your dynasty. Like, yeah, like you guys didn't compete with the Chiefs at times, but don't let that go into the rebuild mode. Like,
yeah, I don't know why they're
hey,
rebuilding. Like, Vrabel is a good coach. They have a pretty good
right.
defense. They got Derrick Henry, who, when healthy, is the best running back in the league. They're not that far away, but maybe they think there's a ceiling with Tannehill, and they're
Right.
like, well, I'm not going to watch this movie over and over again. We're going to
That's
start
what
the
it is.
rebuild.
And, you know, you can argue the smart teams do that. They do it a year early, you know, but man, I'm a huge fan of AJ Brown. He's one of my favorite receivers in the league. And yeah, he has his injury concerns. He gets banged up a lot, but he is so talented, man. And the fact that they let him go for not that much money. You've seen what Devontae Adams got paid compared to AJ Brown, not close.
Right.
And I just mind-boggling that what they did. And yeah, they got Malik Willis in the 3rd round, but I would love for them to compete for this year, because it seems like they're just throwing up the white flag.
Yeah.
And it's head scratching. And it's always that this kid, Treylon Burks, is going to be tied at the hip with AJ Brown his whole career. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And they're always going to compare him to AJ Brown.
Right.
And yeah, they're similar players. I understand that. But if AJ Brown gets 15 touchdowns or 12, whatever, this kid's going to have to get 10, 11. Like, he's going to have to be in that range. They're going to always compare him with yards, catches, everything.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough for the kid, you know? Yeah. I don't know him personally. I don't know his personality. I know he's talented, but that can be daunting on a player early in his career. And it's something that can mess with you mentally.
Yeah.
You know?
And obviously the AFC is so hard right now and so tough. I think they're like, well, we're really, now that like Buffalo and the AFC West and obviously Kansas City, like it, but I don't know.
It's like, when's the last time that the Colts have beat the Titans? It seems like the Titans always win. If I'm the Titans, I'm like, well, we're have a chance to win our division.
At least
the goal here.
Yeah.
Let's get into the dance.
Right.
And go from there.
Right.
Look at what the Bengals did, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's head scratching to me.
Yes. Speaking of head scratching, let's go to the Green Bay Packers and my favorite quarterback to watch, Aaron Rodgers. And for some reason, the Packers will not draft a first-round wide receiver. 20 years I saw is the last time they drafted a first-round wide receiver. I don't get what they're doing now. They did take 2 defensive starters from Georgia. Can't hate on that. But they lose Devontae Adams, and they don't pick up a receiver till later in the draft. Why do you think the Packers will not draft wide receiver help for Aaron Rodgers?
You know what? This time, you know, I'm gonna take it easy on the Packers.
Yeah,
because first night of the draft, me and Max live streamed the whole first round on YouTube, and you know, it's raw reactions to what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So when the Green Bay Packers made those first 2 picks, we were going in on them. We're like, what the hell's going on? You know, and it kind of confirmed it with the quotes that Rodgers was coming out with. I think he was on Pat McAfee's stream or whatever, and he was talking on there, but he was saying, man, I didn't know, like we weren't going to draft a receiver. And I'm like, here we go again. But when you look at the draft as a whole on what they did, and you really look back, I thought about it, I slept on it, looked at who they picked, it's not that bad. Yeah. I think it made sense on what they did. Quay Walker, does it look bad on paper that you traded Devontae Adams, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, for Quay Walker? That looks bad. It really does. But when you look at the position that they were in and who was on the board at the time, they did the right thing. I was pounding on the board for Christian Watson, the guy that they got in the second,
right,
to pick him in the first.
Yeah, they still got him.
So they still got him. They had to trade up. There's a lot of ways you can look at it, though. I understand the guy who's saying it's fine. They did their job, and I can see it from the aspect of what the hell are they doing? Like, no, they should have been more aggressive. You look at a team like the Saints, who traded up twice to go pick up a guy in Chris Olave. They have Jameis Winston at quarterback.
Yeah,
and they're being ultra aggressive.
That's what I'm saying.
I would have loved to see that with the Packers. The first night, me and Max were like, is it like, are the Green Bay Packers lost, and do they not know they can trade up?
That's what I'm saying, man. Why not go take a chance on one of these young, good wide receivers now at this point? Like, why are you holding back and just, oh, no, we're going to play it safe and go defense? Why? You don't have, I mean, who are they going to throw to? Lazard? Like, who's getting the ball in Green Bay? Randall Cobb?
Yeah, exactly. And granted, they got a guy in Christian Watson who I like, but I really don't like the spot, man. We all know how Rodgers is with rookie wide receivers.
Yeah.
The most recent one, Amari Rodgers, who's on their roster, struggled to get playing time last year. And once upon a time, if people don't remember, Devontae Adams was slow to get going. It was
He's got to trust
for him. Yeah, it's really hard to get acclimated with Aaron Rodgers. So it wouldn't be surprising if right off the gates, Christian Watson is struggling in camp and he doesn't have the best hands, and news is coming out with the whole, he's not the best route runner in the world. Rodgers is not on par with him.
Yeah.
It's just, if I'm the Packers, Chris Olave had Packers written all over him. Pro ready guy, one of the best route runners in the league, played in big time situations in Ohio State. It just made too much sense.
Yeah.
And you've seen the Saints do it, and I wish the Packers would do it, but that's not them, and it's never going to be them.
Right.
And it's not about Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt. Those guys are not bad. They're fucking ballers. They're ballers. It's not about
great
the
players. It's just like, why did the Packers feel like they needed to go 2 defensive players in the first?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's like, are we going to be the 85 Bears and have the best defense? And it's like, dude, to me, you got to think of it like a business aspect. You made this whole big investment into Aaron Rodgers. Why wouldn't you invest more? Double down on it.
Right.
And it makes no sense at times.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Let's talk about some quarterbacks. So we mentioned Malik Willis earlier, and of course the Pittsburgh Steelers finally took the hometown kid, Kenny Pickett from Pitt. Matt Corral went to Carolina later on. Desmond Ridder went to Atlanta. And the UNC quarterback, Sam Howell, goes to the Washington Commanders. I'm actually impressed that none of these teams reached for a quarterback and they were disciplined and waited. Nobody had to go up and get one of these guys. It was not a great year for quarterbacks. Did any of these teams, in your opinion, get the quarterback pick right?
Man. Kenny Pickett, he was my top quarterback.
Yeah.
Mainly because he was pro ready. So that kind of confirmed it, why he went in the first. But all these guys are projects. They're all project QBs. And I think as a community, we're getting smarter at this. That's how I feel. And all the teams kind of confirmed that, and they didn't fall for it this time.
Right.
And if anything, if I had to pick a guy to succeed, I kind of like the spot that Sam Howell is in. I'm a big Sam Howell fan.
Okay.
He went to the Commanders. Carson Wentz can self-destruct at any time.
Yeah.
And so
I like Heineke, but he's just, is he a franchise guy? I like him, but I don't know if he's long-term answer.
Right. So if I had to bet any money, I would keep an eye on Sam Howell. Not saying he's going to turn into Josh Allen or something, the top quarterback. I'm just saying keep an eye on him. And they have a good wide receiving core with Terry McLaurin in Washington. 2 years ago, they had a great defense, with Chase Young. We'll see how that happens. But Sam Howell, loved what he showed in North Carolina, lost a lot of his weapons. But keep an eye on Sam Howell, what I like to call the Baker Mayfield with a good attitude.
At least he went later in the draft and not number 1 instead, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm actually, by the way, this just shows you the media, like at large, they don't know what's going to happen, right? The fact that there was so much hype on Malik Willis and he went in the 3rd and no one traded up to get him was just like, damn, what a letdown. But in reality, that's maybe where he should be. He went to, he's playing at Liberty and he had like okay numbers there. Like, we should have known better, but the media gets in the way.
Oh yeah. It's a buildup.
Yeah. No, for sure. Let's go back to Philly. You mentioned them earlier. Let's talk about what the Eagles did in the draft. They had a great draft. Also a lot of people like what they did. They did make the AJ Brown trade, which is awesome. So they got all these pieces. You mentioned the Kobe Dean they ended up getting. What are your thoughts? I mean, this is now on Jalen Hurts, right? They're going to say no excuses. They led the league in rushing last year, but can he deliver the ball downfield to Devonta Smith and now AJ Brown and be the guy that can maybe take the Eagles, over the Cowboys in that division?
Yeah. And I think the missing recipe to this is really just trying to get a quarterback. I think if they knew they were gonna do all this, I kind of would have wished they went all in for a guy. But I get it. Wait, because they have draft picks next year. They can draft a guy like CJ Shroud, whoever is good in the draft next year. Howie Roseman hit it out of the park, though. This is why this guy has a contract extension. And just a couple of aspects that I love from Howie as a GM. I talked about it earlier. Number one, getting guys who have this low floor or high floor, should I say, in Jordan Davis, a guy that how the hell a person that big can bust, that's that athletic, the value hits, and then being aggressive and trading your picks away for AJ Brown, guy that's, has some injury concerns, but the talent matches up. You pay him that big contract. That's the aggressiveness. And then another aspect that I love is that he's able to pivot. This is what you have to do as a GM. Take your losses, take your L's. Don't dwell on it. Don't be the Cleveland Browns
right
a couple years ago, like waiting for this guy to turn into something just because, but we made this big investment. This is the guy. And it's kind of like a pride thing of saying, look, this is the guy. I was right. Though. You're not right, dude. Howie Roseman made a horrible decision a couple years ago drafting Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He pivoted. He said, this guy sucks. I messed up.
Yeah.
Okay. I drafted the wrong guy. What does he do? Next year, he drafts Devontae Smith with his first pick. And then he gets AJ Brown. And he's probably going to let go of Jalen Reagor in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Probably by the time this comes out. I wouldn't be surprised. But Jalen Reagor, the way that you're pivoting off him, this is what makes a GM good. This is what makes Bill Belichick good. The ability to pivot, not having an emotional attachment to these players.
Right.
Yeah. Set your pride aside. Admit that you're wrong.
I agree.
That ties into it.
Right. You got to let the ego go. Right. And the Cardinals did this. I thought Josh Rosen was going to be better, but within 2 years they're out and they're going to go draft Kyler Murray number 1. Right. It's okay to say, hey, look, we messed up. Like you said with the ego thing, it's like, well, we got to prove that we made the right decision. We got to, that's our guy, right? Or they got to prop him up to the league to be like, see, we knew what we were doing. It's like, no, why? Who cares about that? If you missed the pick, you missed the pick.
Right.
You and your podcast partner, Max, do a ton of breakdowns leading up to the draft. So is there anyone that we haven't mentioned yet that stuck out to you in the draft, or some of your favorite maybe sleeper picks, or anybody that stood out to you in the draft?
I love what the Chiefs did, even though I hate the Chiefs. I hate them so
what?
much.
They were one of the teams coming in that were like, you lost a lot of pieces. Yeah. What are the Chiefs going to do in this draft?
Look, I think everyone is sleeping on the Chiefs, and good reasoning. They got rid of Tyreek Hill. You look at it on just the surface,
right?
They lost a lot of guys.
They lost Tyrann Mathieu too.
The fact of the matter is they still got the best quarterback in the league, arguably.
Sure.
And they arguably got the best head coach. And that's what you need in this league to win.
Right.
And I wouldn't even call it they're rebuilding. They're retooling their roster, as I like to say.
Okay.
Trent McDuffie, they traded up to get a guy like him. He is Tyrann Mathieu. He is versatile. He can play in the slot. He can play the high safety. That's what they need. They got a guy in George Kalafdis. I don't know how to say names. Kalafdis, whatever his name is. Great edge rusher there.
From Purdue,
Yeah, Sky Moore, a receiver out of Western Kentucky. A little bit of a sleeper guy that fell because of the quote-unquote, he's short. Kind of like what you said with Nakobe Dean, doesn't have the measurables. He's going to be good, though, I feel like, with Patrick Mahomes. Just a lot of guys that the Chiefs picked up. Sleepers, don't sleep on them. I still have them winning the AFC West. That, to me, as a Raider fan, I think a lot of people are just like assuming that the Chiefs are going to take a step back. I don't think so. They're going to win that division. And as good as the Broncos are, Chargers, we all know what they are looking like. And then with my Raiders, I still think the Chiefs are going to win it.
That's crazy, especially coming off of how many AFC championship games in a row and Super Bowl
Yeah.
appearances. It's just hard to keep that up over time, getting, losing guys. You have to pay people. Yeah. That's hard to do, but I'm surprised you said that, because maybe it is good for the Chiefs to kind of be the underdog this year, because there's so much expectations on Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm with you. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they will win the division. It's just going to be a lot tougher this year.
It's going to be tough, but like I said, the components of the QB and the head coach, that's what you need to win in this league.
Right.
And I don't trust Brandon Staley. McDaniels, I love what he's been doing, but he's an unknown right now. The last time we seen him as head coach, he was terrible. He had Tim Tebow starting.
Right.
And then Russell Wilson with Hackett, I can see that going way downhill very quick.
Interesting. Okay. So there are a lot of question marks. I'm with you on all that stuff. I think the funniest pick of the draft had to be, should I say the strangest pick, was Cole Strange. Belichick takes this guy from Tennessee, Chattanooga, an O-lineman. And I saw a video of McVay and the Rams front office saying, we thought we were going to get that guy at a 104. And Belichick takes him in the 20s of the first round. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously it's always good to have offensive linemen, but what are your thoughts on Belichick and the Patriots draft?
They're going to, like I say with Baltimore, they're going to Baltimore. The Patriots are going to Patriot.
Yeah.
And not surprising at all. I told Max too, for our stream, we're getting graphics for all the possible guys that will go in the first.
Yeah.
And so I'm being prepared. I'm like, this guy might go. I know we have him mocked in the third, but watch some team pick him up. And lo and behold, one of the teams that we don't have a graphic for is the Patriots and Cole Strange. I'm like, all right, there it goes. There's the pick. I knew it was going to be a pick. And Lord and behold, the Patriots did it. But Cole Strange, I mean, as a player, it's not flashy.
No.
It's it is what it is. He's a guard. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't say it's a bad pick. I can't say it's an amazing pick.
We don't know yet.
Right. And as knowing the Patriots over the past couple of years with drafting, they not have been that good.
Yeah.
With these picks. But we'll see what happens. Definitely one of the strangest picks.
Yeah. All right, let's shift to some NBA now. You and your podcast partner, Max, did an incredible breakdown about James Harden over the years and his postseason struggles and all the reasons and all the excuses, everything. Now that it's pretty much on him, with Embiid having the facial fracture, James Harden looked to get old overnight recently. I'm not sure what happened, whether he's out of shape, he doesn't care. I don't know. I loved the trade, by the way, when Philly got rid of Ben Simmons. Obviously, they won that trade because Harden's playing at least. Simmons, who knows what's happening with him. But anyways, you guys did, like I said, an incredible breakdown of Harden. Give me your thoughts on where you think he is now.
He is just shot, bro. Like, he can't go to the rim like he used to.
Yeah.
He really can't. And he depends on that 3-point jumper that he consistently takes. It's a shame, dude, because it's happening at a rapid pace. I know what Daryl Morey was thinking. He was going to get the Harden version from Houston, right? But the series is on him now. Embiid's probably going to miss game 2. And they're going to be in an 0-2 hole because of Harden. Because this guy has proven time and time again that you cannot trust him.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but people have this freaking no memory attached to this guy.
Yeah.
And they just forget about what this guy has been doing his whole career. And it's shortcomings of success every single year.
Yeah.
Whether it's, he has them all. He has all the type of games that you can think of. The bad shooting games, the high turnover games, the being bad on defense games, making the wrong decision. After all this, people still don't think this guy is but he didn't have a team. He didn't have this, all these excuses. And it's just what's this excuse now, Brett?
Yeah.
What is it now? I would love for someone to tell me what's the guy's excuse now?
Right.
What, that he joined Philly late? Is that the excuse that we're going to use? It's dude, when is the BS going to stop?
Yeah.
And all these Harden fans, it's just Oh my goodness. It's just no type of capability when this guy has a bad game.
Yeah.
It's just
the postseason struggles are there, man. And I saw he's taking less shots now in the playoffs. He's not even being aggressive anymore. And maybe part of it was the league kind of changed and aren't awarding him all those fouls anymore, and all those BS, flops in the lane and just giving it to him, right? The league is trying to crack down on that. And his game is totally different now. And if you're, like you were saying, he's not getting that step back three to fall, he's just not the same player. I don't know whether he's out of shape or not, or what, but you're finally playing with a guy like Embiid, at least, when he comes back. And before this, you got so much talent on the team. I mean, Philly is loaded with Maxey and Thibault and Tobias Harris. They got dudes on that team. And my take on Doc Rivers, the most overrated coach of all time. And it almost came true.
It almost happened.
He almost blew a 3-0 lead. Oh my!
And
God.
I love
anyway,
Brett. I love the fact that he gets up on the presser and he starts giving excuses on why. I'm like, dude, no one cares. No one cares.
When you have that many 3-1 blown series leads and the amount of playoff losses this dude has in elimination games, nobody wants to hear it. This is the all excuse team now. So look, it would be cool to see Harden and Embiid win a championship, but if Harden doesn't show up and be his old MVP self, I don't know if they have a chance.
Yeah. When if I'm the other team, I would just wait for this guy to self implode, right? Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know what gets into him, but I don't know, dude. And then to top it all off, on top of all of this, Brett.
Yeah.
He quits on 2 teams.
Right.
Whether you're a Harden fan or not, it's kind of hard to just sweep that under the rug.
Right.
And be like, oh, he literally quits.
Yeah.
And I can't roll with that, dude. I can't.
Sure.
Talented player.
Yeah.
One of the best players I've ever seen in my lifetime. But let's be real, dude. He's a player that's just not a winning guy.
No. Yeah, maybe he's just a regular season scoring machine.
Right.
And then when it really comes down to it, we need those plays, and playoff basketball gets tight and game slows down. There's a reason why a lot of great players never win championships. It's a different level of basketball. Yeah. So I'm with you there. Let's shift to you and I both kind of had thoughts on this. Ja Morant, obviously a phenomenal player. He's coming into his own now as a star in the league. He wins most improved player, which I didn't understand. I made videos on my Instagram about this, my famous TikTok account at Too Tall Sports Podcast. You can follow me there. But yeah, so Ja, as soon as he wins the award, he gives it to his teammate, Desmond Bane.
Right.
That's maybe who should have won it. You could argue him or Jordan Poole, whatever. But in my opinion, the most improved player should not be a former rookie of the year or already an established star in the league. It should be for an unproven player who now is an all-star caliber level player. What are your thoughts on the fact that Ja Morant won most improved?
No, I completely agree with you. I literally thought it was just a joke at first when I seen them in the middle of the season where they're giving the mid-season awards and they're giving it to Ja Morant. I'm like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Why is he gonna win it? And all this stuff that we're gonna say about this segment is no indictment on Ja Morant.
No, he's a phenomenal player.
Amazing player. If anything, this talks him up more because he's held to that high standard and he's been playing at it. That's what makes a guy going second overall and he's meeting his expectations.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to. This is a second overall pick. This is not a G League guy.
Right.
This is not a guy that struggled his rookie year. And like you said in your TikTok, it's the guy that actually won the rookie of the year. So yeah, his points went up, but that's what happens. Okay, people, this is what happens. You get older.
Yeah.
You get better. This is what growth is all about. You just don't stay the same his rookie year.
Right.
But it makes no sense. And I think it goes back to the criteria of some of these awards.
Yeah.
And the NBA has it all wrong.
Yeah.
It really does. Because number one, it has to do with these guys' salaries, these guys' contracts, with how the all NBA is voted and whatever. This guy gets paid more, or this guy gets paid the max because he made this team, blah, 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 blah. There's no really good criteria. What's the criteria, Brett, to win MVP? What is it? What do you have to do?
Who's got the best storyline of the year? That's
Right.
what it seems like.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, Russell Westbrook can win in 1 year when his team is the 4th seed, and then Steph Curry wins it when his team is the 1st seed, the best team in the league.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what are we doing here? What's the criteria? Like Russell Westbrook averages nearly a triple-double the year that he wins it, does it again the next year. And it's like, wait, I thought we voted this guy MVP because he averages triple-double.
Yeah.
Why didn't we give it to him again? Because he did it the second year.
All of a sudden, we're not impressed with that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a problem with it. I've seen a couple of people talk about it, like in particular Draymond Green with his podcast.
Yeah.
And he's real anti-media guy.
Right.
And he gives people like us flack because we didn't play in the league, and people that have an opinion. I get it. I really do. The whole player hate media, hate guys. I get it.
That doesn't mean we can't understand what we're watching, though,
Right.
Yeah.
And I do agree that some people who are on that ballot that have an opinion and have some real say in it shouldn't be on there. But I just think they need to critique it. Like, number one, first of all, they need to get rid of paying guys off of that, first and foremost.
Right. Like you can get more money because you made all NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They shouldn't do that. It'll be like the NFL giving guys contract extensions because they made the Pro Bowl.
Right.
No one cares.
Yeah.
So that's step number one. And step number two, Draymond kind of brought it to my attention of kind of like a committee. Pick a committee, pick a mixture of guys, pick some media guys, pick some former players, and pick a couple players in the league. But it can't be just this whole media driven type of thing.
Yeah, because as
like
you've seen,
it's all storyline.
The sports writers, and as you know, even when Rodgers almost didn't, that one writer came out in the NFL and says he's a terrible guy, even though they never met before, and he has a vote. So if you have an agenda when you're voting, it's going to cloud your vision. It's biased. It's not an unbiased opinion. So I'm with you there. It should not be all sports writers the whole time. Yeah. It should be current players playing against these dudes.
Right.
Like when the coaches,
and not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them, but like
a
select, 20, 30 guys, random guys.
Right.
Who's the best player in the league?
Exactly.
Back to Ja real quick. I just feel like, and you agree with this too, the award is beneath him. Like he's beyond most improved now. Yeah. Like, let's give it to a Jordan Poole who spent part of last year in the G League and is now an established player, or DeJounte Murray, who had a crazy number of triple doubles, or even Bane, his teammate. Yeah. So I'm with you on the whole Ja thing. I just didn't understand why he doesn't need this award. I think the NBA partially gave it to him because he's not going to win MVP, and Zion is a non-factor right now, so they're really pushing Ja. So I think there's something there too.
Yeah, that was so dumb what happened. It should have went to Poole or Murray, like he said. Those guys made actual improvement in their games.
Yeah,
like Morant, he made improvements, but like we said, he's
already good.
And it's based off the expectations, of a guy. That's what it should be based off of, at least that award.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. By the time this comes out, the series might be in a different spot, but you guys picked the Celtics over the Milwaukee Bucks. Even without Chris Middleton in that Chicago series, they blew out the Bulls without him. And, Grayson Allen stepped up, Connaughton stepped up, Bobby Portis stepped up, Drew Holiday, and Giannis is Giannis. He didn't even have a good shooting night in game one and still ended with a triple-double. Giannis, I don't know. I'll ask you where you think he is as far as best players in the league. I mean, he might be the best player in the league right now, but what are your thoughts on this Bucks-Celtics series and why you guys went with Boston?
It's going to be a dogfight. First of all, at the time that we're recording this, we only seen game one.
Right.
So can't judge everything off game one, but it's definitely going to be a dogfight as far as physical wise. And I think what we thought with the Celtics was more of like, it's going to free up a guy like Jaylen Brown, as the number two. They're going to give so much effort to Tatum, and it's going to free up him. And then the Chris Middleton injury. I mean, we just thought he was just so much more of a valuable piece, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And game one, like I said, don't judge so much on game one. Sure. Things can change. But that was our just whole understanding of that, of the whole Chris Middleton absence. And
I mean, he's an all-star. Yeah.
yeah, the Celtics are on a roll here.
They are.
Before this game 1, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get back in the series. Like game 2 looks completely different, but that was just kind of our mindset going into the series.
At some point, I would have thought too that the Middleton injury, maybe not against Chicago, who, if you remember during the season, they didn't beat good teams. They beat all the bad teams. So Chicago really wasn't what we thought they were. Kind of like the old Denny Green. We aren't who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. But I think I agree with you. Boston, second half of the year, they just completely turned it around, and Boston's tough now, man. So I love what they're doing. But yeah, at some point, the Middleton injury has to catch up to the Bucks, I would think, because Giannis, they're going to need another guy to take big shots at the end of games. It can't just be Giannis every time. So I do agree with you that at some point, the Middleton injury is going to catch up to him.
Yeah. But you bring up Giannis.
Yeah.
And, him being the best player. I think there's no doubt anymore. I used to always go back and forth with him and KD.
Right.
I think this little stretch of the playoffs, he's proved why he's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
With all the stuff about Durant being swept, I'm sorry. You're the best player in the league. I'm not saying you win that series. I'm just saying there's one of these games that you're just like, I'm the best player in the world. I'm going off for 50 tonight, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
We didn't see that.
Boston was really tough, and they swarmed.
They were
him,
tough,
man.
And I'm not trying to take away anything from Boston.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, when you're the best player in the world, sometimes there's nothing you can do on a given night.
Right.
Game 3, backs against the wall. I know the Nets are a lower team than the Celtics as far as talent wise. I get it. You would lose.
Yeah, but
that
I agree with you. But KD and Kyrie, you got to give me one game you can get right.
One game. LeBron has lost series. Kobe has lost series.
Yeah.
MJ has lost series. Okay,
sure.
As perfect as people think he is. Giannis is the best player in the world though right now. I think he's Shaq, dude.
Yeah.
Like Shaq said it a couple months ago. I'm in the league. Like my name is Giannis, and I believe him, dude, because the stuff that we're seeing from Giannis is just physically imposing his will on people.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I'm over the fact of like what people have against them is like, oh, when you have the ball late, I want KD because he has the jumper.
Sure.
I honestly don't care anymore. I would rather take Giannis. You know why? Because he makes it up in so many other ways.
He does everything.
And like people like tend to forget, like he is the best player on defense in the league. It's not Marcus Smart. I know he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
It's Giannis. Giannis is the best defender in the league.
Yeah.
And he's just amazing, dude. Best player in the league.
Yeah.
And yeah, they may not win the championship again, but he is the best player in the league. There's no doubt. It's not LeBron. It's not KD. It's not Steph. It's Giannis. Giannis is that dude, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if they win another title, it's going to be hard to debate that.
Oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
If he wins another title, we're going to be in that range of talking about like, okay, is this guy a top 10 player of all time?
He may end up in the top 10.
Yeah.
And he's still under 30 years old, I think. So if he gets 2 titles before 30, I know it's hard to get back after a while, and they're going to have to pay people and people leave. But
it's so crazy, Brett, that the switch just flipped for him.
Yeah,
that Nets series last year, I felt like
after
game 2, they were down 0-2. Everyone had them done. They were done in the like KD's gonna win. Yeah, dude. Like Giannis is, and I admit, like Giannis's games before that, like game 1 and 2, like I gave him the business on our podcast. I was being very critical of him. I'm like, dude, you got to have a go-to move and just stick to it. Like you got to be imposing your will. And I swear, it seems like he heard everyone in the media. He said, you know what? I'm going to do it. Like, I'm just going to flip this switch. And he became a completely different player as far as demeanor wise, it felt like. And this is a guy that's mentally tough too.
Yeah.
Like he could have broke down easily with that whole free throw situation. Didn't bother him at all.
Yes.
He doesn't care if he misses 8 free throws in a row. He's gonna make that next one. Same thing with the 3-point shot. He don't care how ugly it is. He don't care how many he missed. He's gonna threaten you with that 3-point shot. He's like, I don't care. I'm gonna take it still.
Yes.
I'm still gonna do it.
He has a full game now. You remember a few years ago in Toronto, Nick Nurse built the wall and it completely ruined Giannis mentally. He couldn't do anything physically against them. And now he's got a jumper. He can hit free throws now. Like, he's a completely different player, like you're saying. And he's definitely in his prime. And he's going to be tough to stop moving forward. Of course, we got to talk about our Lakers on the way out here. You know, all terrible season, lots of injuries, right? Everyone, all the Laker people that are delusional think, oh, if everyone was healthy, we would have been fine. Okay, yeah. With the oldest roster in the league, yeah, we would have been fine. What do you think about maybe what they should do with Russell Westbrook? Do we run it back with the same team and hope everyone's healthy? What are your thoughts on what the Lakers should do this offseason?
Oh my gosh, man. I felt like we're Laker fans are like a broken record right now.
Yeah.
Everything that we said after games 1 and 2 of the season is the same way we're talking at the end of the season.
Right. Healthy AD, you never know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you know. But I don't know what they're gonna do with Russell Westbrook. I've heard so many mock trades and scenarios. It's hard for me to see that a team will take him. Everyone's talking about Charlotte. You know, Charlotte taking him, and we're gonna get Gordon Hayward. It's like, I wish this was NBA 2K and it was a video game and I can do that, but I just don't see that happening. And
why would Charlotte want him anyway, especially with LaMelo there? You're gonna mess with LaMelo's growth.
That, and like I heard the Knicks would want him.
Oh,
and we'll get Julius Randle.
No, please no.
Right, you know, it's just these mock-up scenarios, and it's just head scratching because I don't know what they're gonna do. They can't cut him.
No,
they're gonna lose too much money. This is not the NFL,
right? 47 million. Who's gonna match those contracts?
Right,
you know?
And it comes back to the trade deadline when they had a deal in place with Houston, and they should have just took John Wall.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, it may have been bad, and John Wall probably wouldn't have played for the Lakers, but hey, you're trying, you're doing stuff, you're willing and dealing. It's like what we said with Howie Roseman in the NFL part of this.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pivot and take your losses. Okay. LeBron made a bad decision. It is what it is. You know, we messed up.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, my gut tells me Westbrook is going to be on the team for half of the year, and they're going to wind up trading him at the trade deadline next year.
Yeah.
And I just hate that aspect, dude. I hope that doesn't happen. But that's because I find it hard that a trade partner is going to pop up.
Right.
I really do. I don't know who's going to take his salary. It's crazy. But we've seen it before. Once upon a time, someone took Timothy Mozgov contract.
That's right.
So the NBA is weird as far as salary. It is very hard to understand.
Even with the big contracts, everyone can be moved still, which is crazy.
Right.
Like Wall and Westbrook got traded for each other from the Wizards and Houston.
Exactly.
So they made that move happen with, you know, over $40 million a year for both of those guys. So everyone can be moved, but I'm with you. It's going to be frustrating. I hope they move them this summer, but like you said, who's going to take on that contract for the full year? But I hope by the deadline, they make a move next year and get somebody in here because I don't know.
And I want to get your opinion on this because me and Max were talking about it. We played like a little blame game with the Lakers. We went on a big old rant. We're going numbering the guys who to blame for this situation. But the conversation came up and about like the whole rebuilding situation. And the two assets that we have is LeBron and Anthony Davis. Obviously, those are the two biggest assets that we have. Not going to trade LeBron. LeBron's probably going to want to stay in LA because of his kid, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Would you trade Anthony Davis for the right package?
Yes, I would right away. I know it's hard to give up on a guy like that. And I know he's great when he's healthy. But think about this. This is our future, and we're going to build a guy around a guy that's not even 30, that's had so many injuries and can't stay on the floor. It's not going to get better. So why do I want to commit max money the next 5, 6, 7 years to a guy that can barely even stay on the floor? I would be happy to, you know, it sucks, but like let's package him for now. We can get maybe a real player or a package of players we can build around young guys, because we got to get younger, right? Once LeBron's done, as you know, with every place that LeBron goes, he leaves that organization decimated. There's nothing left. Yeah. So, and we don't have repeatable contracts, right? We're signing a bunch of 1-year-old dudes now. It's just like, is this the 2011 Lakers? Like, just I don't know. I would say get rid of him.
I'm kind of on your boat too. Max thought I was insane.
Really? He wants to keep him?
He wants to keep him, but in the aspect of like, what's the point at this point? Like we've gone all in, and we got a championship out of it.
Sure.
Like it's a win. And it looks ugly. Yeah, and it looks ugly right now. But he's saying, what's the point? You don't have a draft pick until 2027. It's like if you're in debt for $100, what's the point of like going in debt for $150?
Okay.
It's like, what's the point at this point? Like, let's just add to it, see what we got with LeBron and AD, keep that asset. Once that time comes, okay, we're gonna be bad. There's no point of meeting in the middle and try to save like the future 2 years from now. Okay. And I get it. I get both sides. I really do. He's a real big Anthony Davis fan. So am I. And there is some moments when you're like, man, that's why you love AD. Like, that's why we won a championship. But it's like, ever since the bubble, we have just simply not seen Anthony Davis being AD anymore.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't see it getting any better for the Lakers. So, we did go all in. We made the move, but like you've been talking about on this entire episode, you got to be able to pivot. So if we can move him for some young assets that are at, maybe all-star caliber level. And LeBron, it will not last forever. We cannot just keep catering to LeBron. I think the front office has to take more control instead of letting Clutch Sports run the whole organization.
Right.
Like, it's just, I'm a little worn out on LeBron at this point.
I really am too. And I would blame LeBron more than anyone, dude. Like, I think this had LeBron written all over it, dude. He was drinking some wine in Russell Westbrook's house and was like, we can do it. We can do it. Let's do it. Let's ball up.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, man. And this is where a high level GM comes into place, because Rob Pelinka is not that dude. I just, it's stank from the get-go with the whole Magic situation, and people just rubbed it off. We won a championship. Hey, LeBron put us on our back.
Right. He got Anthony Davis. And look, all the young guys that we moved outside of Brandon
Ingram, didn't get Anthony Davis, though, Brett.
You think Clutch Sports got him? Okay.
LeBron and Clutch got Anthony Davis.
All
that
right.
whole thing that happened,
sure,
it was moved. Every move that Anthony Davis did was towards going to the Lakers.
Right.
And Clutch just...
And honestly, a lot of people are mad sometimes that we give up the young guys. I'm okay with it. Think about all the guys we gave up. Only Brandon Ingram is really turning into a dude now, but he wouldn't have done this on our team. So I'm okay with get rid of Lonzo. Yeah. I'm okay with Josh Hart.
We won a championship, like we said.
Get rid of these. They're not championship players.
Right.
So I was okay with that.
Yeah, but Pelinka has to go. And the only other guy that I would like is Sam Presti, the guy from OKC.
The guy that just wheels and deals for more picks and picks and picks.
I love the way he works it,
I like it, but in reality, what does he ever do though? You know what I mean? He just gets younger and younger and younger. And it's like
he does get younger and younger, but I feel like there's been multiple different eras of OKC, and they've always stayed relevant to a point.
Okay.
And fair. I would like a guy who knows how to flip assets, flip back contracts. He's flipped the Russell Westbrook before. I think what he did with Chris Paul and that whole Westbrook situation, as far as how he treated it, was amazing.
Yeah.
I think that was just great on what he did.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this mess that the Lakers do, they need a guy like that to come clean it up.
Yeah.
And Sam Presti, I would like him doing it. LeBron kind of gave some Clutch vibes with Sam Presti. All-Star weekend.
I didn't like that, by the way. You're talking about other GMs during the middle of the season. Right. You're talking about other players. It's just like, dude, are you on this team or not?
Like I said, Brett, Clutch, they have an agenda.
Yeah.
And they're going to stick to it. Everything that LeBron says, everything that LeBron comes out with, there's a purpose to it. It's not because I'm feeling this way and there's a reason why he's saying stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it may have been because of his kid, which, by the way, I don't think his kid is going to get drafted that high, but
Yeah,
that's
probably
beside
not.
the point. But there is some smoke where there's some fire where there's some smoke.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
That's what I would say.
Right now, it's not an attractive job. I can tell you that. So all these rumors of us getting these top level coaches, and they're like,
oh my
we're not
God.
going there.
Welcome
no
aboard,
control.
Mark Jackson, when he just, wears black to a game because it's the team's funeral. Get blown out. But
we're gonna pick your assistants too. So just to make sure it's like you're not even gonna let the coach pick his own staff, like that. Just the whole thing.
Know, Brett. If we get a no-name coach, that guy's gonna be out mid-season
for sure.
Yeah, he needs to have a big name to stay.
Yeah. Good luck getting that. All right. So last thing, anything you and Max are looking forward to in the future now that the NFL draft is passed? I know we're in the middle of the playoffs here. So anything you guys are looking forward to this summer in sports?
Yeah, man. We're looking forward to the NBA playoffs. We're going to go full on playoff mode with the NBA. We've been putting it on the back burner. We're big NFL guys with the draft. We do a lot of work into that draft content. Draft season officially over. So we're going to be heavy into the NBA. Like Brett said, alluded to in the beginning, we're doing a lot of videos like the James Harden video where it's a breakdown, not much of a podcast, but more of like narrated in a sense. So we're gonna, we're gunning towards those. We have a lot of video ideas for those coming up. But if you guys want to check those out, Max and Juan Cast. That's all separate. Max space Juan Cast. I know it's tough. Work with me here, but
and on social media, where can they get you?
Yeah, at Max_Juan Cast. You guys can check out all the links over there. We're always doing posts, daily content for the most part. But yeah, dude, that's what we got going. I had fun, dude. This was fun.
It's always fun.
I love these type of podcasts when we're just hitting every type of thing.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Good, man. Glad to have you on. Thank you for being with me. And I'm sure we'll be doing it again soon on one of the shows. So I appreciate it. And I'll definitely be following your content soon.
Yeah, most definitely, Brett.
My thanks to Juan from the Max and Juan Cast. Go check them out on social media. They got great content. They do all kinds of breakdowns and videos. They did amazing for the NFL draft. So go check out their stuff there at Max_Juan Cast. So check that out, Max and Juan Cast on all the platforms. They do lots of cool content. So check them out on Instagram and all over the place. They have all their links on their social media. So go check out and listen to their podcast if you guys like their content. So my thanks to Juan B. Once again, thanks again for getting me to 100 episodes. This started during the pandemic, and it's crazy that we've gotten here, and it's been a tough 2 years for some people, and some people it's been a great 2 years. So I kind of discovered my passion during the pandemic, and here we are 2 years later and 100 episodes later. So thank you all again for listening. As always, you can follow me at Too Tall Sports Podcast. I do a lot of content there: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It's at Too Tall Sports. Check me out there. But yeah, I want to thank you guys again. I know I said it off the top of the episode, but thank you guys all for being here and supporting me and listening on this journey to, get into sports media and see where I can take it. So, I love you all and thank you very much. And I will speak to you very soon. Have a great day.